What's going on, everybody? This is B. Scott.
G.O.D. You talking to a god right now.
And the third wheel.
And this is the first 4 downs. Let's get it.
What up?
I don't know.
We gotta do something quick because I'm gonna play poker. It's
I know.
his birthday and shit.
It's week 5. Right? Week 5. We're ready to talk football.
Huh?
Yeah, we're ready to talk football.
All right.
So let's look at some matchups.
Yo.
First off, let's talk about Thursday night game. So, Rams on the road against Seattle. And the Rams have been reeling. And so you think they go into Seattle, and obviously it's a divisional matchup. But all the numbers showed it was going to be a high-scoring game. And, the Rams just missed on the win. And falling in a division that is going to be pretty tight. I mean, you got the Niners at 3-0. Now you got the Seahawks at 4-1. So, I don't know, man. What's next for the Rams, honestly? What's their struggles, you think?
The struggles is a lot, man. You know what I'm saying? They got their defense is crazy, right? So they've spent a lot of money into a lot of veteran players that stay stationary in the defense. You got Marcus Peters that plays on one side dominantly. You got to keep Talib that plays one side dominantly, right? They don't really shadow over there. You know what I mean? They got a slot corner that does his thing, but Aqib has been like letting people go by him all season long. Even going back to last year, I think what they missed on was not signing the Ndamukong Suh back. You know what I mean? Because if you look at that defense, the way it's built, in the past, you had Ndamukong Suh getting double guarded right there, so you had a quicker, nimble Aaron Donald be able to get in there and explode on the pass rush. And they were also able to stop the ball that way. They signed Clay Matthews. They signed Aaron Whittle to try to stop and be able to load boxes there. But with those two corners being stationary like that, you get burners out there and they open up the field, right? So Russell Wilson and the Seahawks just exposed that. You know what I mean? They had DK flying. DK got hit for a touchdown. They got Tyler Lockett going all across the field, nobody to shadow, and they open up the field. Then Russell Wilson is able to efficiently dump off to Disley. Now you have to respect not only Carson being the number 1 rushing team in the game, you know what I mean, with Ndamukong Suh not being there, it just frees everything up. You know what I mean? So they got an old stationary defense, and it's like that's their problem right now. You know what I mean? That's what I feel on that defense. I think that they can still get it together, but I don't know. It's going to take a lot, man. They already got Matthews out with a broken jaw, so what are they going to do now?
Yeah, that's even worse. I think obviously the offense is always there. You know Gurley is going to give you everything he can. Actually, I was surprised at the game. Malcolm Brown had 1 carry in the game. You know what I mean? So they actually leaned on Gurley a lot. Don't get me wrong.
I had Gurley on my sit.
Hey, so did
And you know what? You take the 2 touchdowns, you take those 12 points away, and I hit accurately.
You know what? It's impossible to sit Gurley. I mean, come on. Are you sitting Gurley? Think about the touchdown potential. Are you sitting him?
Possibly.
It's no, you can't.
But
you can't. You know the yard. You know you.
I pulled the trigger on big sits though.
Yeah, but you know here. This is the problem with Gurley. The offense is too prolific and puts up too many points to sit a running back that eventually will get a chance. And he's good enough inside the 5 that he probably will get a touchdown if he gets a carry inside the 5. So, yeah, absolutely. I had Gurley as a tough sled for running. You know what I mean? The Seahawks, 253 total yards rushing. So, I had Gurley sitting. But, I didn't have Gurley sitting. I had Gurley struggling to run the football. But the touchdown potential is too high to sit him. 4 rushing touchdowns. I want to say 2 back-to-back in both weeks. So, but yeah, the defense side of the ball, you play zone, you're going to get eaten up all day. And that's pretty much all they can do at this moment. I mean, they're struggling at the pass rush. Aaron Donald is a beast, don't get me wrong, but Clay Matthews out, that's definitely hurting the pass rush. Eric Weddle on the back end, he's a million years old. And Talib is better as a cover or shadow guy anyway. I mean, sitting out in coverage, he's going to get lost. That's just how defenders are like that. Marcus Peters.
And it's exactly why I called DK a start this week. I knew eventually Marcus Peters and DK, they're older guys. You know what I'm saying? They've been in the league a long time. They're not going to be able to catch that speed of DK. You know what I'm saying? I had him and he hit. You know what I mean? That Seattle offense right now cannot be fucked with. They're one of the top in the league. I like I've been saying, I've been calling it. They're my dark horse team this year.
Their struggle, their struggles with the Saints were running the football. They really didn't get off to a good start running the football. They gave up a couple early, missed plays. The punt return automatically put them in the hole, and they turned to throwing the football, which they're not built to really get out of the hole with that. You know what I mean? They start run first. So that's the reason I feel like they lost to the Saints. Seahawks, that's the only reason. But, I mean, against the Rams, it was perfect. It was a good.
Yeah, we finally got to see a Thursday night game that wasn't shit. So, that's good to know.
Last week's wasn't bad. I think Talib would probably do better if Lockett was wearing a gold chain though. Something to
might have pulled that gold chain off.
I think he's just like age, just catching up with him.
You know what I would like to see last week? If when Odell got choked, he wore that watch and got it took. I would have loved to see that. You know what I mean?
That's what I said. The only thing I was sitting there thinking, I was like, okay, when does he play Talib? I want to see.
Talib's snatch changes.
Give me that.
Just grab him by the arm, just rip the watch off of him.
Well, hey, let's move on to the next matchup. So, I'm looking at one firepower that could put out a lot of fantasy points. Honestly, that's Atlanta and Houston. So you got two teams that right now are struggling reeling on offense. The lines aren't looking good. Matt Ryan's struggling throwing interceptions, and Deshaun Watson's running for his life. So this game could potentially. Way over there. But like I was saying, Atlanta, Houston, right? This is a matchup that has potential to be huge in fantasy. You got two offenses that have really struggled at times, and I think Houston, this could be a huge bounce back game for them. And I think D-Hop gets on the track. 3 straight weeks, D-Hop under 10 fantasy points. I mean, that's unheard of.
I know.
I know he's killing a lot of fantasy teams. Trust me, Deshaun Watson and Hop are both. You drafted Deshaun Watson, your number 2 quarterback. He has not played the part, and we knew the offensive line was bad, but we never expected this. So
yeah, but I think D-Hop is just hurting. You know what I'm saying? He had that rib injury week 1, and you know what? For a receiver, it's brutal. Every cut, every burst, you're gonna feel it. You know what I mean? Catching the ball, landing on the ground. So, we're a month removed from it. Hopefully this week it breaks out. But yeah, we got a Atlanta Falcons team that cannot sack nobody. So I think Deshaun Watson finally finds his stride. I got Fuller a big start in this game. Kiki's back healthy. I think it's gonna be lights out. Both teams. Excuse me. If y'all don't know right now, it's Friday night. We drinking this on this one. You know what I mean? So just bear with us a little bit. Yeah, but both teams right now are averaging about two touchdowns a game right now. You know what I mean? With their defenses not really being what they used to be in the past, I think this is a potential bounce back week for both offenses, except for Devontae Freeman.
Because he sucks.
He's looked absolutely terrible.
I told you I wouldn't start that motherfucker in practice.
I stayed away. I mean, 8th round, I still wouldn't draft him. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
it's crazy. But there's a lot of things to like about this game. Vegas has it 49, and with them averaging 2 touchdowns a game, obviously we're expecting to see some fireworks. The only thing about it, and Julio's been showing his frustration this week, saying he wishes the offense would all do their jobs. You know what I mean? So that means everybody. They're second in the league in penalty yards, and I think that's has a lot to do with them scoring low touchdowns. For Atlanta, I see them bouncing back a little bit. I will put Ridley in the end zone with, Devontae Freeman is not doing nothing. I put Julio Jones in the end zone, of course. I think it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, I worry about Atlanta. Houston's defense has actually played solid over the course of this year so far. They've had their ups and downs, but their line looks good. And Matt Ryan struggled. I mean, come on, Ryan's got.
And Houston is top 5 in red zone percentage for the touchdown. You know what I'm saying? They averaging like 70% right now.
Exactly. So my thing is, Matt Ryan's got 6 interceptions on the season. He had 7 all last year. He's truly made some poor throws, and they just haven't played good football. I mean, I called it against Tennessee Titans. I wanted to sit Julio Jones. I mean, come on. How many people are you going to put? How many people are going to sit Julio Jones? Nobody. But I had him on the sits. And don't get me wrong, you can't sit stars like that. But I knew he was going to struggle. I mean, the Titans didn't allow over 100-yard rusher for like the previous like 8 weeks, 10 weeks, going back to last season. So
last season, Atlanta's the offense was a little bit different. You had a rookie really emerge as a big touchdown threat, but this is a second-year receiver, right? And they have a whole new offense back with Dirk Cutter. Oh, I said it right finally. And that's that struggles, but I think he'll start to pick that up. You know what I mean? So even with on the other side of the ball, Houston, I think they'll be able to establish a good running game. Carlos Hyde has been a good pickup for them so far. I think with them having to score in this game, you're going to see Duke Johnson emerge a little bit better this week too.
Yeah, I think what's crazy for me in this game is, like I said, I have a feeling that Atlanta's going to struggle a little bit just being on the road. I mean, it's in a dome. I drafted Matt Ryan, like most people, knowing that they were going to be in a dome 12 or 13 weeks. Now, I expected a little more from Matt Ryan so far, honestly. And honestly, Julio Jones has exceeded expectations. He's got 4 touchdowns in 4 weeks. Last year, it took him 8 weeks to get a touchdown.
Miracle.
Exactly. So, this game could go one or two ways. It could go just flat shootout, or I think Atlanta could still struggle. And so I think Carlos Hyde definitely could put up some points. I mean, I like him a lot. But you got anything for that matchup? You looking for anybody? No? I think it's all firepower. I'm starting everybody in that game. I mean, other than Devontae Freeman, because he looks so terrible. But the next matchup we go to is the Colts and the Chiefs. Colts on the road at Kansas City. And this is the highest over-under on the week, 57 points. And for me, I don't see 57 points because I think the Colts are easily going to get, the Chiefs are easily going to get to 30 points. But I don't know if the Colts can get to 25 points. So
they've actually, Brissett's been okay over there.
He has
scoring.
been, but Max reeling. I mean, Max got an ankle injury. He's been sitting out of practice all week. I don't know how today went for his practice. But
my thoughts about that game is Kansas City's going to get up big early, and Brissett is going to thrive in a lot of garbage time. And so I think that they'll be able to score a little bit of points in the second half. Whether Nyheim Hines is going to start this game or not, you know what I'm saying? They're going to produce. Of course, he's not Marlon Mack. You know what I'm saying? Marlon Mack is proven right now to be. He looks like a top 5, top 10 type running back. So, you know what I mean? Ty showed up to practice today, so
should be good to go. I mean, Ty sits out all week and normally plays. I was shocked that he didn't play last week.
Yeah, they have enough firepower to get in that end zone a couple times. Another thing too is kind of scary because I have LaShawn McCoy, one of my starts this week. Darius Leonard showed up to practice this week. He had a concussion protocol, looking like he might play. So that might stop that running game a little bit and give Patrick Mahomes and that team a little bit of trouble. Tyreek Hill is out for this game, so it can get to 57. I think so. It can, or it could be like a little bit of a problem. But I know outside of Seattle, Houston is the hardest place to play. It's very loud in there. So we'll see what Brissett is able to do.
Kansas City. I'm sorry, you said Houston.
Kansas City.
Yeah, Kansas City.
Kansas City. Yeah,
still
Kansas City.
Matchup. Anyway, like I said, I'm drinking. Don't judge me. That's a tough place to play. So
yes,
we'll see what happens. But I don't know. I could see it getting there. But they got Kansas City 11-point favorite. You know what I mean? That's like they're gonna blow them out. But I'm saying Brissett. I think Brissett is good enough where he gets 2 or 3 touchdowns, you know what I'm saying? Like garbage time touchdowns, trying to catch up, whatever. So it could possibly hit 57.
Yeah, I got Brissett on, honestly, my starts of the week. And that's because he's been just consistent over the season. He's had 2 touchdowns in every single game.
Yeah.
I mean, so that's 12 points.
And that defense, Kansas City defense, ain't that good. You
know
what I mean? They're
it's
good
not
turnover
bad.
defense, you know what I mean? Which is good. But Colts offense ain't no scrubs.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely not. I mean,
with luck, this would be a 60, 70 point game. You know what I mean?
Of course.
But, unfortunately, we're not able to see that. But
yeah, with luck, they were contenders. So that means that they have at least enough firepower and skill everywhere else on the field.
Well, this is the crazy part. Even with Brissett, they're leading the division, I'm pretty sure. I mean, realistically, that division's pretty weak. So
Baltimore's in that division.
No, not in the Colts division.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
No, that's what I was saying.
Oh,
Baltimore. Pittsburgh Steelers.
Just go ahead and shut up.
But yeah, you know what? I got Brissett on my starts this week. Kansas City defense isn't that great, and they're going to put up points, so Brissett's going to have to throw the football. And especially if Marlon Mack's out, they're probably going to have to throw a little bit more. They might have a lot of screen plays. T.Y. healthy. You know what I mean? I like Paris Campbell if he can fucking put it together, but he hasn't yet. So
yeah, Paris Campbell looks like a motherfucking rookie right now.
So
we'll see what happens. He'll definitely be one of those third-year breakouts.
Yeah, absolutely. And McCole Hardman, it's a dart throw at best. I mean, if I was to choose from all three receivers, obviously you're going to start Watkins, and I would be starting Robinson.
This is a super matchup for Travis Kelce. He should probably see the end zone at least twice.
I hope so. He's due for a big game. I mean, he's been solid. Don't get me wrong. He's, I want to say, the number 2 or 3 tight end on the year so far. With Mark Andrews, I think the number 1 tight end at the moment. But so many other matchups you want to look at?
For our listeners, you don't know, we run a league, and I drafted in round 14 and 15 Lamar Jackson and Mark Andrews back to back because I won the ship last year and played B. Scott, who finished second, Brandon Van Hilsen.
Yeah. You know, it was a tough loss. Don't get me wrong. Phil Lindsay let me down, and I'm in 2 leagues, and he's on both my fucking teams. You know how? Of course, it's like the misery.
That about wraps it up for this edition of the First Word Downs. We drinking, we chilling, we don't give a fuck. It's Friday. First Word Downs, baby. You know what it is. We out.
Yep.